And it's exactly 7 p.m. here in Ghana, in Accra. I am Bryce Nanakwesiabani, and this is News 9 from our studios here at Ridge in Accra, live on DSTV channel 277, on Facebook and YouTube at Metro TV Ghana, Twitter, Instagram at Metro TV G. Coming up in the next 60 minutes. The Ghana Medical Association has called on government to immediately address pharmaceutical sector money challenges. We will be speaking to the General Secretary of the GMA. Former President John Dramani Mahama has charged the Ghana Journalists Association to begin a campaign aimed at ensuring that killers of private investigator Ahmed Swali are brought to book. The Functional Executive Committee of the National Democratic Congress (NDC) has directed all elections of its constituency executives to be conducted in a day. And on the international front, Penny Mordaunt confirms she is standing in the Conservative leadership contest to replace Liz Truss as Prime Minister. We'll tell you more. And we appreciate your time with us here tonight on the news. Now, the Ghana Medical Association has called on government to immediately fix challenges facing pharmaceutical manufacturers, importers and wholesalers association of Ghana to prevent their total return to the cash and carry system. The association halted credit deals with the regional medical stores over the continued depreciation of the city. They cited high exchange rates, payment terms, inflation, interest rate, fuel prices, utility cost and reversal of benchmark values as having devastating impacts on their business. The cash and carry system make it compulsory for individuals and facilities seeking medication to pay before receiving them to recover operational cost. But the GMA says the development will collapse the health sector. General Secretary of Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Titus Bayu, joins me via Zoom for a conversation on this. Good evening to you, sir, and welcome to this night. Now, what exactly do you want government to do for you?
Well, good evening and good evening to your viewers. It's not what government should do for me or for the GMA, but for the health of the nation. Because the position of the Pharmaceutical Importers, Producers and Manufacturers Association, what they are suggesting that they will be doing will have a devastating effect on our health and the health of everybody in this country. Let's not take this lightly. At this moment, they are saying that cash and carry, no credit to the facilities and anybody who buys drugs from them on wholesale. What that means is that the facilities, private and public, cannot also give the drugs to you on credit. And how do we give the drugs to patients on credit? We give the drugs to patients on credit when they come with the various insurances, either health, the public national health insurance or the various private health insurances. Each of these, when a patient presents to a public or private facility with these insurance, they are treated, serve medications, and the insurance will pay sometimes 3 months, 6 months, 9 months later. Now, if the hospital cannot get the drugs on credit and has to pay upfront, it means that this has to be passed on to the patients to pay upfront. Then the essence of all our health insurance system is lost. It's the reason why we are saying government needs to quickly see how they can find innovative ways to prevent collapse of the health insurance system. Because access to health care is going to be threatened seriously
now,
if this is carried through.
You are calling on government to act. Are there any recommendations you want to tell government?
Well, the first thing is that I think the Manufacturers Association themselves made some recommendations which look very plausible, which I think government can consider, because we are having a global economic situation. The country is going through some economic difficulty. But can government sit down and look at what can we do to protect some vital sectors of the economy? And one of them is health. How can we make sure that we continue to have availability of essential medicines? Because if this goes on, it means that you will need medications and you will not be able to get them because the pharmacies, the hospitals are not able to pay upfront for these medications. So government can look at some incentive packages, some ring fencing of finances for these manufacturers and producers or importers of these pharmaceutical products, arrange some bank facilities to help to continue to maintain the flow of medications. The health insurance itself must also come in, the NHIA, if they can pay claims promptly, because if you are still owing someone for 6 months, and look at the depreciation of the cedi, if you served a medication that was worth 10 cedis in January or March, and you are going to be paid 10 cedis now, what can that 10 cedis buy relative to what it was in January? If you think about the fact that these importers, you have to convert this money back to foreign currency and then import their product. Even those who are manufacturing additives and other products needed for the manufacturing are all imported. So inevitably, they have to convert these monies back into dollars to import. So you can see the difficulty in which they are in. But let's look at the end user part. If you don't fix this, within a few weeks, you are going to have these challenges where patients cannot get essential medications. So I am pleading with government, sit with this group, find innovative ways of financing, and see that this is a critical sector of the country, that we cannot allow what is happening in the global economic situation just to go through the same way.
And as you term it as critical, are there plans of between government to ensure that this issue is dealt with?
Well, since they made their announcement, we are yet to find out whether they are having sessions with government. But as stakeholders in the healthcare in this country, and who work closely with the pharmacists and with all other cadre of healthcare workers, we need to speak up, because we are having global challenges, we are having economic challenges, but our health should not fail. That will pose a huge security threat to all of us. And it's the reason why we are bringing these suggestions that government should quickly look at what they have said. Because if it is carried through, it is not what the GMA is saying, it is not what the pharmacists are saying, it is what is going to happen, which is that people cannot get essential medicines. If for nothing, people should remain healthy, people should still have access to drugs and good food so that they can be productive. And it is our collective productivity that can take us out of this economic situation we find ourselves in. So if we allow the health sector to collapse because of such a policy that they are proposing, I don't think it will help this nation.
Right. Dr. Titus Bayo is the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, and he was on tonight to tell us about what they intend to do in conversation with government to ensure that all these problems concerning the payment, cash to be paid for medical things to be given, be done. We'll bring him on that later. But away from that for now, President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has attributed Ghana's prevailing economic woes, including the continuous depreciation of the cedi, to global economic challenges. He is, however, confident measures his government has instituted and ongoing engagement with the International Monetary Fund will bring the economy back to a resilient path. President Akufo-Addo offered an assessment of the economy during a radio interview as part of his tour of the Eastern region.
I'm confident. Say, we will find a solution to it. And in that solution, so the fundamentals of the Ghanaian economy. We were right in identifying these things. We were right in looking at how we can achieve food security in Ghana. We were right in insisting on industrial development and expansion. And we're doing it. It's just as if we're just talking, but we're walking the talk. Politically for our party, the future is still bright. Has it were wiped out our chances of being able to go forward in 2012. I don't take that view. I believe that especially foundation you lay in the first term.
I see.
This year that has been seriously compromised, largely as a result of the semi-essay in the global economy, which has meant that virtually all the budgets of countries have been thrown out of gear. Our budget, keep making this example. Nobody's able to respond to it when I say it. So, when we made the budget for 2021-2022 last November, that's almost a year from now, we made it on the basis of the barrel of oil at $64 a barrel. Within 3 months, the $64 projection had come to over 100. And most of 2022, the barrel of crude oil has been above 100.
Away from President Kufuor, let's now go to former President John Dramani Mahama, who is urging government to come clean and reveal the Ghanaians the state of the economy in a national dialogue. According to him, the economy wouldn't be in its wobbly state if the Kufuor-led administration turned a listening ear to the red flags raised by the opposition NDC, journalists and CSOs across the country. He made this comment during a meeting with the newly elected executives of the Ghana Journalists Association.
As part of efforts to ensure that the Ghana Journalists Association becomes vibrant and proactive, its executives have begun a series of courtesy calls and engagement with stakeholders in parts of the country. Friday was the turn of former President John Dramani Mahama. Albert Kobina Jomfo is the president for the GJA.
Support and promotion of press freedom is non-negotiable. You've been a guest of honor for our GJA Awards when you were the president. This is how important you value the association. As a communication expert, we are here to share with you some of our key visions, some of our commitments, so as to get your guidance, advice, and your support in achieving them. We can't do it all alone, and that is why we are calling on you this morning.
Former President John Dramani Mahama charged the association to begin a fresh campaign aimed at ensuring that killers of private investigator Ahmed Swale are brought to book, adding the recent harassment of journalists by the national security apparatus is unacceptable.
Of course, one of your own paid the ultimate price, Ahmed Swale, and as at now, there still doesn't seem to be any movement in apprehending the people who assassinated him in such cold blood. And I think that is something that you must not sleep on. You must continue to fight to make sure that whoever were responsible for that murder, are brought to book. The current state of the media, calls for concern. And if you just look at our current performance on the Press Freedom Index, it is very concerning that our performance has been so poor.
The former president also took a swipe at government for running the country's economy into a ditch.
In circumstances like this of national crisis, what you do is you rally the country together, so that everybody comes on board to support us getting out of the crisis. Even at the time we were raising the red flag about the economy, they say, oh no, the economy is robust. It's robust. If your ship is sinking and ships are passing by and say, do you have any trouble? Can we help you? You say, no, our economy is fine. You will sink. And that is what has happened. We've come to the reality of the situation.
The GJA will be holding its annual award ceremony themed Working a Path Towards Ghana's Economy, the Role of the Media next month.
And it's now time for matters of NDC internal elections. Now, the Functional Executive Committee of the NDC, in a press statement, has asked all constituency conferences in respect to 17 elective constituency positions to be held in a day. Let us take a look at the statement, and as you can see on the screen, it says FEC Directive on NDC's upcoming constituency elections and the Functional Executive Committee of the National Democratic Congress NDC at its meeting of Thursday, 20th October, this year resolved that all constituency conferences in respect of all 17 elective constituency positions should be held in one day. This directive includes all constituency youth and women conferences. Constituencies are therefore to choose either Saturday, 22nd October 2022 or Sunday, 23rd October 2022 for the purpose of these conferences. All regional party secretariats, regional election directorates and committees are to ensure that this directive is enforced and strictly adhered to, failing which sanctions will apply. Signed by Daniel Amati, Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC. Also, the Ashanti Regional Branch of the Opposition National Democratic Congress NDC says all is set for the party to commence its constituency elections on Saturday and Sunday to elect officers from all 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region. The Ashanti Regional Communication Officer of the party, Abbas Nuruddin, who spoke with Metro News in an exclusive interview, indicated that half of the constituencies in the region will vote on Saturday, while the rest will vote on Sunday to elect 23 officers in each constituency.
About 1,000.
We apologize for that and bring more updates on it later. But still staying at the quarters of the NDC, the chairman of the National Democratic Congress NDC, Ofosu Ampofo, has called on all party executives and party members of the NDC to abstain from violence and put the party first in the upcoming regional and constituency elections. Now, nothing noting that the party is reconciliatory one.
I wish all our participants and those who are going to contest in this election the best of luck. And I pray that the Almighty God will grant us traveling mercies for all the delegates that will be traveling from far and near to their various constituencies to participate in this election.
The National Democratic Congress would hold its constituency elections between October 22nd and 23rd, 2022, while the regional elections will be held between November 12 and 13, 2022. The expiring candidates who have already been vetted for the constituency elections will be vying for 7,728 positions in 276 constituencies, including the Santro Kofi Atmafulikbe and Lolobi constituency, which does not have a representation in parliament yet. Each constituency has 28 slots for the executive positions. Despite some recorded chaos in the regions, national chairman of the party, Samuel Ofosu Ampofo, assured of a well-laid structure of the party ahead of the event.
We have given them unfettered access. We have made sure that the elections committee have provided the voting list to all contestants. We've made sure that they've campaigned, and we have asked that our campaigns should be devoid of insults and attacks, personal attacks, and so on and so forth. If we are able to do that, at the end of the day, democracy will be the winner. NDC will stand very strong and will be poised to win the 2024 elections. We must not put our personal interests, parochial interests, personal political interests at the expense of the party. Let's focus and put the party first. If we are able to put the party first, NDC will be the winner at the end of the day.
He further spoke on the need for a consensus dialogue on the dire economic situation in Ghana.
Government that says that I'm embarking on one district, one factory. it should have reflected in industrial growth. It would have also reflected in employment generation, because if you have established factories in all the districts, then people must get employment. But I have gone around the country, and I hardly see any district of any factory that has been established by this government. So they are virtually building castles in the air and paying lip service. We are a pragmatist party. We believe in what works. And I believe that when we come, as I speak to you now, there is a strategic committee that has been put in place that are developing our policy options. And they scan through the environment. And whilst the global environment changes, we also tweak our policies that we are developing to reflect the realities of the day.
The party has, however, resolved that any turn branch must have been credited at least since 2020 to be eligible to participate in the elections.
Now away from the NDC, most shops in Accra have reopened after the Ghana Union of Traders Association ended a strike after 2 days. The union, in a statement, said consultations with the government and Gamanche Ni Churu, the second, had led to the softening of its stance. Guta had been protesting because of Ghana's forex challenges and the rising cost of doing business. Efuando visited some shops at the Central Business District of Accra to gauge the mood there after 2 days.
Cedi has been noted as the worst performing currency and has fallen by over 50% to the dollar in 2022. But citing goodwill from the government, the union said the government plans to put together a working committee made up of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, National Security and Guta to swiftly come out with pragmatic measures to solve the challenges. This morning at the Central Business District of Accra, traders said the closure of shops had not been impactful enough, as they are back to the same challenges they face as business people. A few others also think it was a good move. This is Metro TV. You're welcome.
Thank you, please. Good morning.
Yes, what do you sell?
We deal in cosmetics, lashes, nail stuffs, and a whole variety of stuff.
And I'm sure that you also closed your shop.
Yes, please, we close our shop.
So how is it like after 2 days closing your shop? Has anything changed for you?
Personally, nothing has changed for us. The market isn't improving. It's still like back then. Yes, and to me, I haven't seen any improvement. I don't know. I haven't seen any improvement yet.
Basically, like also a cosmetics shop closed by the other gentleman that I spoke with. I'm trying to get closer to one of the shop attendants here. Right, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You're a shop attendant, right?
Yes, please.
So tell me, you also closed your shops, right?
Yes.
And how has business been like? This morning when you came in, I see a lot of people here. Good for you. So after 2 days, do you think that it was a good thing to close your shops for 2 days?
To me, actually, it's not a good thing, because if you close it, so the money is going high. So if you close it, people will be coming and the shops will close. They won't get anything to buy. They will go and like lorry fare and all those kind of things. So closing the shop won't bring anything.
We all understand what is going on with the global right now, but this is extremely bad. I'm telling you. You know, we only came back today. I always got a call yesterday that we're coming back today. So we're here now, but it seems nothing is happening.
So do you think that it wasn't necessary to close the shops?
At least, I wouldn't say that. I mean, the whole thing is one way that somebody have to do something, you know. We can't just be sitting down and think that things is going to be working out, knowing it's not going to work.
This is a company, so I was actually asked to close it. I don't know what my boss think though. So I'm just a worker here.
You're just a worker?
Yeah.
Right. But it didn't affect you in any way?
What should I say? It did, because we didn't sell for 2 days, so definitely it will affect us.
It's going to affect your salary, you believe?
Because it's a company, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I think I will receive my salary, but maybe my boss will be at a loss. Yeah.
Government hopes to receive $3 billion under an IMF extended credit facility program to support the economy and open the doors to more borrowing on the international market. Among interventions and concessions the government has made to Guta, a Deputy Trade and Industry Minister, Michael Ochubefi, said a fixed exchange rate will be maintained at the ports for the next 3 months.
Let's stay a bit longer on this and speak with the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Joseph Obin, to find out what they intend to do next. Now, good evening to you, sir. Welcome to this night. The problem hasn't been fixed yet, but you've called off your strike. Why?
We have made our statement. The statement is loud and clear. We did this exercise to communicate to our customers that we are not the cause of the hikes in prices in the country. Second, to give a pinch to the government to know that there's a sense of urgency in what is happening with the exchange rate, interest rate, and inflation. And that's the third being that we wanted to send a clear message to the world that there's a peculiar problem in our country that is not allowing us to service our debts that we owe our suppliers. And that's exactly what we did, and we've been able to do it. But once you are doing these things, you want to communicate to the authorities. And we had it excellently. The overlord of Gas State invited us to his palace and then said that he is intervening and that he is going to convey our plight to the authorities. Thereafter, the president of the state also called us, and then we gave all our grievances to him, not only the grievances, but the preferred solutions, our recommendations also to him. And we did not just do it as a ceremony. We discussed it in details at a lengthy time. The assurances and then the encouragement and all that was given. The fact that we are expecting IMF very soon, the fact that cocoa syndication, the fact that our concerns have been taken and be given to the economic management team for redress and all that. It's assuring enough that what we wanted to communicate have been received and that there's no need to continue. If we had continued after we've talked to the presidency, after a whole government chair have talked with us, it would have meant that we have other ulterior motive. And so we couldn't have continued. That's why we closed and we opened our shops today. And we did it in a dignified manner. We all are the shops, but we sacrifice ourselves for the cause of our customers. So that they can get cheaper things. And one thing that has happened now is that it's even getting worse. The exchange rate is on full flight and it's flying.
Joseph, so I want to find out, now that you've called off the strike, what do you intend to do next, or you want to wait until it is addressed by the economic management team?
No, we are not giving any ultimatums. It will be amateur on our side. Economy as it is. Then we said that I'm expecting 2 weeks to have results. It will not make us look the mature people who have our own businesses and who understand issues. So,
all right. All right. Thank you, Joseph. The line is quite bad. We will try and come back to you later as you try to fix it. And so Joseph Obin is the president of Guta, and as I heard from him, they spoke to government and also the Gamanche Ni Takitego Churu II. We'll bring him on that later. It's now time for a fun fact here on the news night concerning World Cup. And as you can see on the screen, it says, the first one says the World Cup is the biggest international soccer tournament in the world. And it is the most watched sporting event in the world. 32 teams compete to be crowned World Cup winners every 4 years. though there has been talk of hosting the World Cup every other year by FIFA President Gianni Infantino. The second one says Qatar 2022 is the first World Cup in the Middle East. And it says the tournament will be played in Qatar, marking the first time in it being hosted in the Middle East. Now, Qatar beat out the United States, South Korea, Japan, and Australia to win the bid in 2010, which was awarded by Sepp Blatter. It was later discovered that two members of the FIFA Executive Committee had their voting rights suspended following allegations that they would accept money in exchange for votes. The third one says there are going to be air conditions in the stadiums in Qatar to combat the heat, though it figures to be comfortable during the tournament. The stadiums or the stadia at the 2022 FIFA World Cup will have air conditioning in them. And yes, a few days more to the World Cup. I'll bring you the update here on Metro TV. So need to make an urgent call, but you realize you don't have credit, or your very important conversation was cut short because you ran out of airtime. Well, there's no need for all that, because all you have to do on MTN is dial *506# and you get to borrow credit on MTN Extra Time. The best part is you can borrow or bundle data by dialing the same number *506# whenever you run out of data to continue on browsing as always. The conversation doesn't need to end. Borrow extra time now and enjoy the things you love to do on your favorite network, MTN. So live here on Metro TV this morning after this. Welcome back. Now, the Ghana National Council of Private Schools says the law is not subservient to the appointment of the newly appointed Director General of Ghana Education Service, Dr. Eric Nkansa.
Professor Kwesi Opoku Amankwa, now the former director of the Ghana Education Service, was relieved of his post in a letter from the presidency dated October 17, 2022. Dr. Eric Nkansa was subsequently appointed as the Director General of the Ghana Education Service. The move by the government has, however, been met with fierce resistance by teacher unions in the country. Angel Kabonu is the president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers. He claimed the newly appointed Director General is not fit for the job.
The gentleman who was appointed yesterday is not a teacher. He is a banking officer who was a special assistant in the office of the minister and has been appointed as the Director General of the Ghana Education Service. We are not happy with this development. It is as if we don't have professionals and well-educated people who have gone through the mill in education in this country to run education. The gentleman who has been appointed is qualified as a banking officer, have done some small stints of teaching with Kumasi Polytechnic those days. When the minister was appointed as minister, he became a special assistant to the minister and do not have any credentials or qualification to be Director General of the Ghana Education Service.
They are therefore calling for the immediate removal of the Ghana Education Service boss.
It is as if we are being told that we educationists in the Ghana Education Service are no good to manage education in this country. We are calling on the President to rescind this decision that the gentleman who is appointed is not qualified by any standard to be the Director General of the Ghana Education Service. Yes, we are calling for his removal. He is not qualified to be Director General of the Ghana Education Service. And his presence will not motivate professionals who have been in this service for more than 20 to 30 years and have risen to higher rank within the Ghana Education Service.
Dr. Eric Nkansa is expected to indicate his acceptance of the role within 14 days.
We are now joined by Austin Gami, who is a labor expert, to speak on the issue. Now, good evening to you, Austin, and welcome to News Night. Now, what's your take on the fact that the teacher unions are calling for the immediate removal of Dr. Eric Nkansa?
Well, thank you, my brother. Well, the reality is that whereas the employer reserves the right to appoint whosoever it deems fit to occupy the highest office of Director General of the Ghana Education Service, he certainly will be working with people. More so when that environment has trade unions, not just any union, but teacher unions, 3 major ones, who are unhappy and whose members equally seems to be supportive of the call of the union. It does appear as though the employer will have to rethink, even though it's his right to appoint, he will have to rethink because the gentleman cannot be a proud worker in that service without the support, not of just of the union, but of the working people there who are equally desirous to occupy such offices. So I think the employer will have to rethink, even though it's their right to appoint the people. If they force it, the consequences will be too much.
And in what way do you think this will affect the efficient work of teacher unions in the schools?
Oh, definitely. I mean, everybody is seeking to rise to the topmost place, and somebody must move for somebody to follow. And so to them, that is it. And I can see it in their condition of service already, in the collective agreement, if you like, about promotions. And therefore, even though that is one of the highest position in that service and can be appointed and should be appointed by the president, I think that a lot of consultations could have been undertaken before embarking upon it, which it appears may not be the case. Our labor law is very clear. You know, you have to have an open channels of communication with your people under Section 9G of the Labor Act. So a lot of communication should be there. The Constitution also demands, under the directive principles of state policy, I believe Article 36, 10 and 11, demands that participation, inclusivity is very important. It's always advisable to involve people who are directly beneficiaries of any such organizations, such action to be taken.
And are there any other initiatives put in place to ensure the smooth work between GES and teacher unions?
Definitely, there has always been a cordial relationship there where they have strong reservation to disagree with something. I think often it ends up with the National Labour Commission, they help. This is not like that case. Indeed, if the gentleman go there, they can force and let him go there, but he may not survive. The work may not go on well. It's not in the interest of the nation. It's not in the interest of students. It's not in the interest of the government. I think that the best thing to have done, if they still want to have him, they can reverse and have enough consultation, convince the unions and the members of the service that this is the right man for them. If they succeed, fine. Otherwise, they should find something else for him to do.
All right, thank you so much, Austin Gamu. We're grateful for your time here with us. And so let me bring you a bit of what was stated in the statement by NACOPS. It says the Director General of GES should be a respectable leader in education from whom the rank and file of the service could take inspiration and motivation from. It says the president appointment of Dr. Eric Nkansa as the substantive Director General of GES has aroused many reactions from relevant stakeholders in education. The choice of a banker as the Director General of the Ghana Education Service has not only fallen so short of people's expectations, but is also a violation of our professional education standard. We'll bring more on that later here on Metro TV. Stay with us. We're back from the break with business news. Welcome back, and it's now time for business news. And in business, we talk about the depreciation of the Ghana cedi, where Professor Godfred Bokpin, who is an economist and professor of finance, and he has been sharing his thoughts on the free fall of the Ghana cedi.
The cedi just doesn't misbehave on its own. It's a reflection of the deteriorating economic fundamentals, and which is also reflecting in the dwindling reserves at the central bank. So when you see the reserves coming down, when you see that confidence in the economy is wounded, trust is impaired, when you see that IMF negotiation is probably not going according to people's timelines, then you know that the cedi is more exposed. If it happens that way, there will be a lot of speculative activities around the cedi, because people will be mopping up the few dollars in the system, knowing very well that the central bank is powerless in defending the currency, and that's what happens. It gets to a point also, and you realize that because money performs certain basic functions. One of them is as a store of value. So we are at a point where the cedi has more or less ceased to serve one important function, which is a store of value. And therefore, when it happens that way, you will realize that people who have cedis would want to move their money from cedis to a currency that is more stable. And anytime you buy dollar, automatically you are selling cedis. So as a lot more people are demanding dollars, the offsetting position is that they have cedis they are not interested in holding on to, and they are selling. Right. And as they are selling and nobody wants to buy, the price will fall.
So the cedi has depreciated by more than 100% since the beginning of this year. In the last few days, the local currency has been depreciating by almost 1 cedi against the major trading currencies on a daily. Now, let's see how the cedi has been depreciating against the US dollar from January till now. And as you can see on your screens now, yes, it says from January it was at 6 Ghana cedi, 27 pesos. In February it was at 6 Ghana cedis, 70 pesos. In March it stood at 7 Ghana cedi, 30 pesos. In April was 7 Ghana cedis, 25 pesos. We saw a decrease there. In May it was at 7 Ghana cedis, 78 pesos. In June it was at 7 Ghana cedi, 93 pesos. July saw it depreciating at 8.30 Ghana cedi. In August at 9 cedis, 90 pesos. September saw it maintaining at 9 Ghana cedi, 90 pesos, and has jumped all the way from 9 Ghana cedi, 90 pesos to 14 cedis, 50 pesos in October. And the month hasn't ended yet. And earlier in the bulletin, we heard the President of Ghana, Akufo-Addo, saying that there are measures being put in place to ensure that the cedi becomes stable against the dollar. We'll bring you more, but for now, there's a break, and after that will be sports.
It's 50 past 19 hours CMT in the Ghanaian capital, Accra. My name is Phil John Quarte, and it's time for sports. The national under-20 team, the Black Meteors, have arrived in the Mozambican capital, Maputo, for the African qualifier, which will happen tomorrow. Coach Ibrahim Tanko is positive Ghana will get the results.
We want to see these guys, promoting from 17, 20, and 23 now. So we still have also from local Black Stars, we have Efrie, we have Dominic, we have Suraj. So in all, the team is intact, so we will go and do our best.
Run, you not target, run.
We are young, and we have a quality players who can hold the ball. We have fast wingers who can run into the spaces. So definitely we have all the ingredients from back to striking force. Yeah, and as we said, we have to get the team right, and this is what we are doing.
Well, away from that, let's focus on the Malta Guineas Premier League. We're talking on the Malta Guineas Women's Premier League. Match day 3 will start. I've started actually today. You've seen the results on your screens. Pearl Ladies managed to beat Fabulous Ladies by 3-2. Upin Dakwa Ladies, the defending champions, will take on Dreams SC. Ashtown will welcome Candy Soccer Academy, while Supreme Ladies will lock horns against Northern Ladies. In Tamale, Super Ladies will play against Prisons. Let's go to the southern sector quickly. Yeah, Faith Ladies will welcome Army Ladies, whilst Police Ladies will travel all the way to the western region. At Genu Park, they will play Azakes Ladies. Lady Strikers will be at the Robert Benson Stadium in Cape Coast playing against Pearl Ladies, while Soccer Intellectuals will take consecutive at Mankesim. Then Reach City will welcome Tender Queens at the Medina AstroTurf. Let's go to the EPL quickly and find out how Chelsea and Manchester United are preparing. Proud to that game, Nottingham Forest will take on Liverpool. That should be lunchtime kickoff tomorrow. In the city of Liverpool at Goodison Park, Everton will play Crystal Palace. Then the defending champions, Manchester City, will play Brighton. All the way to around 16 hours GMT, it will be Manchester United being London against Chelsea. On Sunday, that match everybody wants to see involve Aston Villa. No, that should be Southampton playing against Arsenal. Then Monday, match day 12 of the EPL will wrap up with West Ham playing against Bournemouth. Well, that's your sports. My name is Phil John Quarty. Up next, entertainment.
It's now time for entertainment. Now, Ghana's economy has been in a turmoil for over a while now, with the cedi performing poorly against major trading currencies, notably the US dollar, which has seen the rate now being 14.50 pesos. With barely 2 months into December, which will be a very busy month for events in Ghana, there have been some concerns about how the depreciation will affect event organizers and also music lovers who will be purchasing tickets priced in dollars for these events. We have been speaking to PR and media executive Echo.
I have to set the basics for December. So in December, we are expecting around 200,000 visitors. And with this, the government is also expecting that about $2 billion will be spent in the economy on night flights. And if you realize nightlife in Accra, basically, and December in Ghana, it's more in Accra. And even in Accra, it's not just anywhere. It's around Osu, Laboni, straight to East Legon, a bit of Legon, and then it comes back to Osu. Not really. Even Tema is not even really part of December in Ghana. It's always around Osu, East Legon, Laboni cantonments, thereabouts. So that is what it is. And then we also have some big festivals also coming up. Afrochella, and then we also have Afro Nation. I know Wilderland will also be big, because these are the 3 big festivals that are happening this December. I know there will be tribal, there will be other mini parties and events going on. With the currency situation, so this is what it is. Because we're expecting a lot more tourists in the country, we're also expecting a lot more inflows into the country. So Forex, what we like dollars or euros. So.
Well, that's it for entertainment news on Newsnight. My name is Harriet Adi. Right.
Thank you, Harriet Adi. Coming up next, the latest on the international front.
The rebel authorities in Ethiopia's Tigray region have confirmed their participation in talks scheduled for Monday in South Africa under the aegis of the African Union, aimed at ending the 2-year conflict in the north of the country. Sudanese protesters rally in the streets of the capital Khartoum ahead of the 1-year anniversary of a military coup that derailed Sudan's transition, as the country remains mired in deepening political and economic turmoil. Penny Mondant confirms she's standing standing in the Conservative leadership contest to replace Liz Truss as Prime Minister. Mordaunt's leader of the House of Commons is the first candidate to officially enter the race.
As who becomes the next Prime Minister in Britain. That's it for the news here tonight on Metro TV. I am Bright Nanakwesi Amenim. Have a good night.